Today I want to talk to you about the idea of self-preservation, specifically in terms of self-preservation and stress management. Self-preservation is a big part of effective stress management, and I want to talk to you about this in such terms because oftentimes when we think self-preservation, we think about immediate life and death situations, or something pretty severe, pretty close to a life and death situation. Well, self-preservation has a wide range of things that could fall under that umbrella. But when we engage in self-preservation behaviors, it contributes to our overall ability to better manage the stress in our lives. So let's talk about stress management, effective stress management, and how self-preservation comes into play. Part of self-preservation for this topic of conversation can be considered in terms of the next level of self-care. And I talk to you about self-care quite regularly. If you watch my videos, you already know this. I'm talking about the next level of self-care. Self-care is something that should be happening on a regular basis, on a daily basis. But the next level of self-care means taking things beyond the daily things that you do that you consider to be self-care. One of the things that falls under the umbrella of self-preservation is the next level of self-care. If you watch my videos, you know I'm big on self-care, and I talk to you about self-care quite regularly. This is the next level of self-care. So what's the difference? Regular self-care are those things, those behaviors that I encourage you to do, that we should all do, hopefully we do all do, that are the everyday things that we do to take care of ourselves. But the next level is a little bit bigger. This could be something that you do once a week on a weekly basis that goes beyond the everyday. So self-care are things like proper diet, proper nutrition, moving your body, exercising it, getting enough sleep, getting enough rest and recreation, doing things that you enjoy. But the next level of self-care could be something that you do once a week, where you pick an activity or an event or something that you choose that is not just an everyday activity, but something a little more special. So maybe once a week you take some time to, let's say, go hiking. Not something that you may have the ability to do on a daily basis, but you could make an arrangement to do something like that once a week. Doesn't have to be every week. One week it could be hiking. Another week it could be something as wonderful as forest bathing, or maybe another week you could take a day trip. So again, let your imagination here be your best friend. Do something a little extra for yourself that you wouldn't have the time or the means to do every single day, as you should with your regular self-care practices, but something that you make a point of doing once a week. And again, it doesn't have to be the same thing every week. Pick something special that goes above and beyond your standard self-care. That's the next level of self-care. And I wish that for everybody, because while regular basic self-care is critical, we can all benefit from taking it to the next level and doing something a little special, a little more special once a week, and vary it up. If you don't want to vary it up, maybe you do it twice, 3 times in a row, whatever that special thing is, whatever makes you happy. The idea here is to truly take self-care to the next level. The next suggestion is a pretty simple and straightforward one, But I bring it up because so many people struggle with it. Learn how to say no. This means saying no to people, saying no to requests, saying no to tasks or responsibilities, or whatever the case is. I think generally speaking, we want to be helpful, we want to be agreeable, and we tend to overburden ourselves by saying yes to everyone and everything, and that can really backfire. So while this is a very simple suggestion, the practice of it, or gaining competency in the practice of it, could take some time, but practice makes better. So if you have a hard time saying no at first, don't despair. It's something that you can start small and work your way up to a more meaningful level. That doesn't mean saying no to everything and everyone, of course not. But it means knowing when to say no, because saying yes would be detrimental or stressful to you. So you have to have some practice, you have to have some discernment, and certainly there may be a learning curve for most people when it comes to this particular practice. But once you learn to discern when to say no, and do so without guilt, without argument, without any kind of negativity for you or for the person that is given the answer of no from you, then you have arrived, then you have mastered that particular skill. It's so important to know your own limits. Sometimes you can delegate things in lieu of saying no, and that's fine. There's a time and a place for that. But there's a definite importance and a big benefit of learning this one particular skill, and it will most definitely play into the overall self-preservation. Remember to recognize your own wins. So often we are focused on everyone and everything else, and we are supporters and cheerleaders for others. And somewhere in our busy lives, amongst all of the life stressors, we forget to recognize our own wins. And we all have wins. Everybody has wins of some sort, big and small, frequent or infrequent. What's important here is that you recognize your own wins when they come your way, when you earn those wins, and take some time to feel good about that. I'm not suggesting that you become an egomaniac where all you focus is on patting yourself on the back. But there's a healthy way of recognizing your wins, taking a few moments to appreciate what that means, what your hard work and efforts have yielded. So make sure that you do that. And when the occasion calls for it, or when the timing is right, do a little something to reward yourself, or to remind yourself in the future that you have accomplished something. So this is so important because it contributes to your overall wellness, which is part of self-preservation. Don't forget to take breaks. Sometimes that means breaks from everything and everyone. For some people, that could mean spending some time alone. Solitude can be very relaxing and very healing for many people. Others don't do so well with solitude, but that's okay. You can share that time with someone special, a spouse, a child, a friend, a pet, whatever that means to you. But remember to take breaks on a regular basis. Just as we're urged to take vacation time from work, so too we need regular breaks just from everyday things, just from life. Maybe that means taking an afternoon off every now and then to get lost in your favorite book, or to go spend some time in nature, or to take a day trip, maybe go to I don't know, an art exhibit or a museum or a concert, whatever makes you happy. But the idea is just to change things up, to take a true break. Not something that you would do every day or do frequently, but something that is a true break from the everyday, from what you're used to dealing with on a regular basis. So make sure that you remember to take breaks. Again, just as we should take vacations from our jobs, so too every now and then we need to take a break from the everyday, from our lives in some sense. And whether you choose to enjoy some alone time or some quiet time or fun time with a special person or a pet, that's entirely up to you. But remember to take those breaks. Now, when you combine all of those little suggestions that I shared with you in this video, they all contribute to your well-being. And your well-being is a big part of self-preservation. How do you preserve the self? It goes beyond just basic survival and staying alive as opposed to dying. It's about being healthy and resilient and thriving. And those little things can truly help you to move in that direction. Self-preservation is key when it comes to so many things in life. It goes beyond just living versus not living. It's a big part of effective stress management. So I encourage you to take what you learned here today and apply it in your own life so that you too can use self-preservation as a way to manage stress effectively. If you'd like to learn more about a comprehensive approach to stress management, check out the link below.